I'm Janet Montez Diaz, and one of the senior students here at the center. And we take turns leading the Sunday meditation. So, this morning, before we actually start our meditation practice, I'd like to talk a little bit about mindfulness and how mindfulness is used on the spiritual path in Buddhism. And then we'll start with our practice. First of all, according to Buddhism, the spirituality really is very connected to the mind. And what Buddhists are trying to do in developing spirituality is actually they want to cut through all our fixations and our clinging to our ego by way of taming the mind. So how is this done through mindfulness? I'll speak a little bit about what's called the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And actually these foundations can be followed whether you're on a spiritual path or not. It's going to be beneficial for everyone. First, there is what's called the mindfulness of body. And, let me just mention the 4 of them. Mindfulness of body, mindfulness of life, mindfulness of effort, and mindfulness of mind. We start with the body because actually when we, in our daily lives, we identify the body with ourselves. And so it's a way of dealing with how we deal with ourselves and with our life in general. So in our body, what Buddha found is that the best way to be mindful and to start our practice is by having a sitting practice. So whether you're sitting on a cushion or sitting in a chair, really what we want to do by sitting is establishing a groundfulness. We want to be grounded. And in the sitting practice, it's really very connected to the earth. So we want to sort of feel like we're grounded to the earth. And this sort of helps us to stabilize ourselves, to be solid. But at the same time that we're grounded, we want to remain open. And we do this by observing our breath. And Buddhism really wants, sort of like emphasizes more the out breath than the in breath. And this is because when you sort of think of the out breath as what you're observing, you want to sort of feel like whatever you're breathing out to the space around you. And it helps to sort of open you up, because what we're really wanting to do as we sit and meditate is to be grounded, but at the same time be open and become aware of the spaciousness around you. So think more of the in-breath as a sort of gap and the out-breath as what you really want to observe. So once again, in doing this, we start to open up and we start to have a sense of being, just being. The second mindfulness is the mindfulness of life, and basically it's because in our existence we feel like we're constantly trying to survive, trying to clinging to whatever it is that helps us to keep on going. So in the mindfulness of life, in that basic instinct that we have for survival and for constantly thinking of what we have to do next or what we have to do, maintaining our clinging to ourselves, we want to feel that we're alive, but at the same time sort of let go It's they call it a touch and go. When you feel that you're getting an instinct, or you're starting to think, well, I have to do this next, I have to do that. I did this yesterday, I'm doing this tomorrow. Just sort of feel it and then let it go. So, what we're trying to do here is really just trying to loosen up and trying to also establish a sense of just being. We want to experience existence, but we don't want to get caught up in it. So just experience the being, experience being open, letting go, touch and let go. And it's good to keep in mind because as we practice, a lot of times all these thoughts come into our minds. Just let them come. Feel that you're experiencing life, then let go. So you can think of life, or the mindfulness of life, as sort of a stepping stone to our practice. It sort of it helps loosen up and just directs us actually towards the next mindfulness, which is mindfulness of effort. Notice that in everything we're doing, we're trying to balance. We don't want to be too tight, we don't want to be too loose, and this is really important in the practice of mindfulness and of meditation. So in effort, we do have to have a certain amount of effort, but the effort can never be too tight. Once the effort starts becoming too tight, we lose that sense of openness and the sense of just being. So Buddhists think of developing right effort, and what they mean by right effort is not to become too tight, not to become too serious about the effort, sort of loosen up about the effort. But at the same time, in order to do this, we have to develop what's called the abstract watcher, which is our own self-consciousness. We're self-conscious in the sense that we touch into what we're doing. We're self-conscious of what we're doing at that time. But we don't judge ourselves. We don't get caught in evaluating. We don't get called in thinking I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this right. We just say it's sort of like getting a flash, like when you start to meditate and you realize you've lost your concentration, you're not meditating on the breath anymore, and you become lost in thought. At that moment that you realize, oh, I become lost in thought, that's sort of like a flash. It's like somebody taps you on the shoulder and reminds you. And that's what we try to do with our self-consciousness. We realize that we've lost our concentration on the breath, but we don't judge ourselves. We just go back to the breath. So it's like watching ourselves. The self-consciousness is our watch, but we never judge. And what we're trying to develop in this, and really this is really the most important part of the practice, the effort, the right effort, because what we're trying to develop through mindfulness is sort of like to think of mindfulness as a boomerang. When thoughts come in, mindfulness returns us to whatever we should be doing in the present moment. So it's sort of like having instantaneous mindfulness of effort, which is sort of like effort that's effortless. That's what really we're trying to do. It might take a effort to get practice. You can get to naturally coming mindfulness is coming to you more easily each time. And we do this by really having a respect for the practice, a deep appreciation of the practice. We never think of the practice as being something that's hard on us. So we appreciate it because we know that it's good for us. But we do have to work hard at it. That's why it's called practice. And that's why, really, to benefit from it, you should develop a daily practice, even if it's just a few minutes a day, because it's really what develops our mindfulness, and really benefit from what mindfulness can do for our lives. And then lastly, we have mindfulness of the mind. And by this, we mean that actually what mindfulness is watching our mind, being attentive to our mind. And as we do this, it's sort of like an aroused intelligence. We just watch each present moment. We develop a nowness of each present moment. We watch moment by moment. We watch our mind, we watch. And it also keeps the effort flowing very easily. So this is what we are going to try to do as we do our practice. And once again, what we will be doing is just observing our breath. Remember to try to emphasize the out breath. Try to feel you're breathing out and you're aware of the space around you. You are aware of openness. Because really what we really want to do as is be very relaxed, very open, and very attentive, aware. So whether you're in a chair or a cushion, just be comfortable, be relaxed, but at the same time try to keep your spine straight. And this is important because there's a certain flow of energy that helps keep us attentive. We want this energy to flow freely through our spine and get up to the top of our crown. So if you're in a cushion, just put your hands on your knees. If you're in a chair, you can do the same. Put your hands on your thighs. Try to sit with your feet on the floor, and try to just sit straight. Sometimes it's good to have a pillow in the back if you're on a chair, just to make sure that you're comfortable and you're well aligned in your spine. In our tradition, we also meditate with our eyes slightly open. And this is because as we develop our mindfulness, we want to be able to have mindfulness throughout the day. So keeping our eyes open sort of helps us to just keep mindful throughout all our daily activities. If you find this very distracting, you can close your eyes. But just keep that in mind, and you might want to practice with your eyes open occasionally. And as I said before, just observe your breath. When you see that you've lost sight of your breath, just simply go back without any judgment, without any thought other than just go back to the breath and let the thought drop. One technique I like to say whenever you realize you're starting to lose your attention, just say thinking thinking. Go back to the breath. And when you label the thought as thinking, it's easier to just drop it. It automatically just drops. We'll be doing this for a few minutes, and then we're going to chant a sacred syllable, hung. And this syllable is related to enlightened mind. And as we chant hung, just feel the vibration of the sound through your body. And it does help to sort of clear the mind a bit. So just each one of us will be chanting hung for just a few seconds, and it will just naturally die down, and we'll go back to observing our breath. So let us. let us chant Hum. Go back to the breath. Let us chant home. Go back to the breath. let us chant home. Go back to the breath. So the practice we just did is one that you can do on your own. And if you're new to meditation, it's good to start off with just a few minutes, intervals of just a few minutes throughout the day. And also, you could practice mindfulness during your daily activities, also just trying to keep in the moment. Eventually, if you do practice and you're diligent in your practice, it will reflect in your daily lives. So also, we're going to take a break now, and during this break, we're going to pass around this book, Book of Names, where we put the names of people we would like to dedicate our practice to. It could be people that have recently passed away or are in need at this time. You can also put pets, animals, and yourself, if you like. And at the end, we're going to read the names out and dedicate our practice to them. We have refreshments in the back, and there's restrooms in the front. So we'll take a break of about 7 minutes or so, and we'll come back and do a short practice after that.
Dawn Mountain offers traditional Buddhist teachings, primarily in the Tibetan tradition, in a way that is accessible to contemporary Americans. Having studied and practiced for many years under recognized Tibetan masters, and understanding that these teachings provide a way to realize the natural state of mind that embodies profound wisdom and deep love, Anne Klein and Harvey Aronson wished to share these traditions here in the United States. As a result, they established Dawn Mountain in June 1996, based on the core belief that it is possible to cultivate a better understanding of our deepest nature, which in turn facilitates new levels of mental calm and self-acceptance.
So our inspiration really comes from our love and gratitude to our own teachers. They spent so much time and care with us over many, many years.
Kaizen Rinpoche was extraordinarily compassionate. He had a terrific sense of humor, and just his ability to be present and immediate and just there. Adzon Rinpoche is extraordinarily compassionate and grounded.
And we've had extraordinary experiences with Adzon Rinpoche, whom I met in Tibet in 96. And I've had many, 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 many hours of just, one-on-one conversation, a person who has tens of thousands of students to attend to. Okay, there's this wealth of cultural wisdom in Tibet. It's encoded in texts, in practices, in rituals, in art, and many people in the West are attracted to it, and yet Westerners are Westerners. We're Westerners. We're not monastics. We may dedicate our lives to practice in our heart of hearts, but we have families, we have jobs, we have all kinds of responsibilities. So how can we communicate and really experience transformation through these practices? For that, some kind of bridging is necessary. We're also a community center, nonprofit community center, which is the hub of our work extending life skills, the life skills of cultivating calm, of cultivating ease in life, of cultivating kindness.
What did you do today that you liked?
Make the glittery thing to show your anger.
And what happened when you shook up the glittery thing?
It made me feel a little bit like I wanted to meditate in peace.
And then the Research Institute is where we look at what we can provide by way of information gained through research for the interested public. So we've mentioned that our own teachings here, which are drawn from work that we've done, our own translation work, our own study, and so forth, some of these will start appearing as pamphlets for practitioners here, and some of them will become books that will be published and will be widely available to the larger public. And I am right now in the process of gathering a team to translate a text from this tradition, which he powerfully feels, and which I also have a very, very strong wish to see translated. And we hope to do more of that. We've seen people telling us how their lives have changed, how their lives are improved, the comfort, the inspiration that they feel coming to Dawn Mountain. We really are inspired to envision a way that Dawn Mountain becomes a stable beacon and place of gathering for people who wish to practice at whatever level.
I trust the teachings. I feel in the place. I feel that I am constantly fed.
And I can feel my breathing better because of the way my legs are positioned.
How long have you been sitting like that?
I learned it when I started coming here.
And it's not only been in the spiritual sense, but also in every aspect of my daily life. I feel that I'm less stressed out. I don't get as angry or as depressed as I used to.
It's good. It teaches me how to kind of relax and be mindful and help with school and stuff like that whenever I get aggravated.
One of our projects that has come to partial fruition is that we have developed a curriculum, which is posted on our website, that explains the open matrix of what a spiritual path can be supported here at Dawn Mountain.
We've slowly become aware of the power of the media, and it is clear now that there is great interest in both our broadcasts from here, and from time to time we might be able to have broadcasts from Asia with Adzom Rinpoche or his sister Anila. Without students, there are no teachers, and without teachers, there are no students. We all dependently create one another. So we're very, very excited by the energy that is in the community. The community is alive, it is supportive, it is growing, and it really wishes to thrive, and we want to participate in that thriving in every way that we can. But we're really talking about finding a space of shared values. And if individuals share the values that we have in terms of coming to a deep appreciation of our innermost nature, then come and participate. That's the most significant thing that we can do together. Just sharing our participation is lovely and meaningful. And anything above and beyond that, by way of offering service for this community, offering financial, flows naturally. And we expect that that will just be a natural outflow for people because of that shared interest.
I ask precious 3 gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The 5 skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly.
Both practices that we're doing today was given to us by one of our guiding teachers, is a Lama that is in Tibet. We have his picture over here. And, oh yes, please pass the book of names if you haven't signed it. And both of these practices are good for everyone, whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned practitioner. So the one we're going to do now is kind of similar to what we did in the first practice, in which we're going to chant a syllable, a sacred syllable. This time it will be the syllable Ah. And I think we have here a small presentation of that syllable. It's associated with the color white. And we're going to chant Ah, but this time we're only going to chant it three times, once each time. And as we chant it, we're going to do a visualization. And the practice really is, it's a nice practice because it's sort of like a way of sharing everything that we have accumulated in our practice today with others. So let us start. First, we're just going to observe our breath for a few minutes, 1 minute or two, and then we'll do the chant, and I'll tell you what to visualize. The first time we chant Ah, we're going to visualize the white light, that is the Ah, within us. It could be at our heart center, in the middle of our torso. And as we chant, the white light will grow and spread throughout our body, and it will fill each one of our cells with white light. The second time we chant, we'll send this white light that is within us to each person in this room. Each of us will receive white light, and each of us will send white light. Second time, the third time, we will send this white light that is within this room to the city, to the country, to the planet, to the limits of the universe, to all sentient beings everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to do our closing prayers. And there is if you have this sheet where it says dedication, we like to do that. First, I'm going to read the names that you've put in the book, and then we will dedicate our practice to these people by saying the dedication. Dave Stevens in Bardo, Brian Klenick, Keith's mother, Tom Brunson in the Bardo, Brittany and Laura, Andy, Linda, and Christy, Ann Sider, Tommy and Meg, Brian and family, Juan Parker, David Surin, Teresa Surson, Donna Baker, Julie Martin, Paula Hartwick, Candy Ramuson, Joelle Salisbury, Brooke Turner or Torres, Judy Sanford, Alexis Linda Kornberg, Eleanor Day, Chris Barbie, George Helland, Evie and Keith, Barlow family, Lucas family or Luca family, Monica Camachos, and Mike. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Let us also do the aspiration. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. So I'd like to just make a few announcements of some activities we will shortly have here in Dawn Mountain. And on Saturday, October 25th, Tulko Jimmy Norbo will be here, and he is a visiting Lama from Nepal. He's actually the grandson of one of our founding Lama teachers, which is Khensen Sambo. And he has come a few times here to the States to give teachings. He'll be here Saturday. And his teaching will be about love and compassion, which is the theme that we are concentrating on this semester. We have the Teaching Tuesdays, what we call the Fall Series, which is embodied love and compassion. And this series is given by our teachers here in Dawn Mountain, which is Anne Klein and Harvey Aronson. For those that may not know them, we always recommend that you come and see them and meet them because they're really great teachers. we're very fortunate to have them here in Houston. Anne is a professor of religious studies at Rice University, and her husband is Harvey, and he is a therapist in private practice. But they are both very well-known Buddhist scholars. They've written books, and they know very, very much. They've studied with very well-known Tibetan teachers. So I recommend that you come to one of our teachings. So this was on the first and third Tuesdays from 7 to 9, and it will end on December 2nd. And it, even though you may not have come from the beginning, each class is a standalone class, so you'll benefit very much from it. And is there any other activities you'd like to mention at this time?
Well, on November 8th, we were very excited because we have a woman named Sunmi Loudon Kim, who is the Buddhist chaplain at Duke University and the minister of Durham Buddhist Families. She's going to be here doing a workshop with the Institute for Spirituality and Health during the week, and we've got her on Saturday to do 2 workshops, one for parents and one for teenagers. So these will be secular mindfulness training for the most part, 2-hour workshops. Parents are in the morning, teenagers are in the afternoon, and tell your friends, because this is a really rare opportunity. Sumi has edited 2 books, one called Blue Jean Buddha and one called Buddha's Apprentices, and they're writings by young Buddhists, mostly people in their early 20s, and these are fabulous books. She's an amazing presenter. I wish we had her here in Houston, but we should take advantage all we can, and there's a flyer that you can take with you about those.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming. And also, I want to just mention that we do accept donations. So if you're interested in leaving a donation, we have a bowl at the front. Thank you.
What time Saturday is the program?
Oh, on Saturday, 1 to 5. Yes, 1 to 5.
And by broadcast.
What if you are neither a parent or a teenager?